Good morning, everybody. I am late. I am so very late. I'm sorry. I just, my my bowels have not been too kind to me this morning. Let's put it that way. So, we've got a big week ahead of us. We got FOMC this week. And markets couldn't be in a more I don't know, interesting spot to do this all in. So, there's probably a lot of opportunity available for us this week, but it's also I would expect to have very difficult trading. So let's come and look at the charts. Can you hear me okay, by the way? Sounds a little soft to me. Got a new screen. We can see the charts again. So here you can see on Friday, we were really fighting that 50-day moving average, and they were able to close above it, but battle's probably not over yet. And this is a perfect example of why I think that a lot of technical analysis kind of ends up being not that useful, because everybody knows this edge, and so because everybody's looking at it, that affects what happens, right? Well, they were desperate to hold it. Okay. So you can see that now they really had a pretty bad sell on Friday, but towards the end of the day they did recover it as the short sellers took their positions off, and we've had some pretty good positive news flow over the Asian, particularly, and also the European news sessions. Europe, they came back a little bit, but we've recovered a little bit, so we're a little bit higher, but still very much down. It is a Monday. I don't know if we're going to buy today. I will note though that on this move up, there was some excessiveness again. So like this option, even though SoftBank is supposedly out, we're still seeing this crazy call buying kind of squeeze action. So I think that this leads credence to the theory that this is retail traders, and that it's not going away. The market will have to adjust. Treasury is a little bit higher. And I am expecting them to move up this week going into the FOMC, because probably a lot of people are going to expect them to say that they will increase purchases or their duration. And it's a pretty big FOMC meeting because they're actually going to formalize all of this average interest rate stuff, and who knows what else could be in there, all sorts of surprises. Oil, kind of still ranging, but there's all of these hurricanes in the Gulf, so that's certainly, but there's also these concerns about global demand. So they're kind of battling it out. There are difficult times in oil. Gold's still just kind of like not doing anything. It's kind of interesting after what had happened, but I don't know. They might take off this week with the Federal Reserve and all that. And then copper, slight gains, but they're still kind of in their range as well. So that's where it puts us. How are you guys? So, we got a couple of things we got to talk about. So, I have a video coming out today about the whole thing with Earn to Trade. So, if you haven't heard, there's news out on stock or tradingschools.org that the founder of Earn to Trade has been indicted by the SEC, and they go into the indictment and everything, and it's pretty wild. This indictment, of course, was not directly related to Earn to Trade. It was something that the founder did elsewhere, but it's a pretty massive reputational hit for them. So I made a video about that and the combines, and kind of shared some of the views that I've shared with you guys here on the stream about how I feel about the combines, and that you really should just fund your own account. So I got that coming out at when the market opens, which I would like you guys to watch, and I'm really nervous about it, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, I'm a little nervous about it because it's a controversial thing. Okay, kind of sticking my neck out. Also, I want to talk. I was wondering if we've got. We're having a discussion in the chat with Wolfgang, and a couple of others about the vast majority of traders fail. And I kind of wanted to go into that a little bit. Hold on, the news squawk is talking here. Hmm. Okay, so apparently Secretary of State Pompeo is going to be speaking here in like an hour. Or rather, at the top of the hour. Hold on, my microphone is messed up. So, because I recorded a video and I kind of use some of this stuff to record my videos, and my setup is a little messed up here. So that's fix number one, is the microphone should be closer. That is a lot better. That feels better. There we go. Test all of that. And now I'm looking at I'm looking over here, and this is, hey, Ace, how are you today? Good morning. I was thinking about you last night, Ace, because I was just thinking about how this whole pandemic, because it's just been for me for the most part just me and my family. I'm like, oh, got to get together with people. We we got we got to get together with the other traders in there. I need to meet Ace in person. Not until a vaccine though. Maybe before the end of the year. Maybe. Good morning. Just wanted to say hi. Well, thanks for dropping in, dude. I appreciate it. I really do. Anyways, oh yeah, I need to fix my camera here. I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah, I'm just starting to realize I'm not really that kind of like a social person, but lately I've kind of just feel like I kind of want to say angry. I'm just noticing that I'm like grinding my teeth more often and everything. So like that might be a medication thing, but I didn't do that before, so I don't know what changed. And I'm just kind of thinking about it and realizing, like, well, I haven't really been talking to a lot of people, and that might be influencing you a little bit, other than my family. Oh my gosh, then the girls are like obsessed with making TikTok videos right now. And then I woke up this morning and I saw that China is maybe stopping the TikTok deal from going through. I'm like, what? No, wait. we were they were just starting to have some success. Oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna fix the camera here because it's too dark. Yeah, looking forward to it. We have a barbecue and everything. Yeah, them treasuries, they're just looking positive. I really think I'll take a sim trade here with the treasuries, but I'll put it on my serious account and I want to buy that if I can. Want to get long 33.62? Well, I'm just looking at everything over here in the E-mini and things look pretty equal. So along, I think from a fundamental standpoint makes sense, but I'm not sure if the location here is super great. So it is right there though. Well, all right. Let's see if it fills me. I'm gonna be really tight on this one though. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it looks a little better, although the light doesn't need to be so bright. There we go. There we go. When I record, I try and use the largest focal length that I can, which is like 70 or 80. But when I do that, it doesn't let me open the aperture as far, so that's what was screwed up. I'm noticing that they have quite the market makers have baked in a lot of profit here today, apparently. So, any news today? Oh man, yeah, there was a lot of news. I don't know how significant all of it was. Let's see here. On the vaccine trials that got paused from AstraZeneca, they resumed those this weekend. And then there's the whole TikTok thing. So apparently TikTok sold to Oracle, but they didn't sell the code. Okay, that's interesting that they hit them there like that. Um, but then Chinese state media was coming out and saying that they didn't sell. So we're not sure if that's like I'm not sure if that's like they sold but just not the code and they were just wanting to clarify that or anyways, this is just kind of noise. Um so that's going on. And then there's the SoftBank sold its ARM holdings to Nvidia. That's really significant. Okay. So, if you guys aren't familiar, and I should get into this because I understand the semiconductors a little bit because I worked at a semiconductor factory for a while, um, and I'm a computer scientist. Um, there are different types of processors, and the way that it kind of works is you can give the processor an instruction. And in Intel CPUs, there are really complicated instructions that you can give the processor, and that's kind of where Intel is special. Okay, that's what made them so special initially, and they've just kind of always kept that edge is that their instructions are very complicated and sophisticated, and that's why they're able to just be faster overall. But there's another strategy, and that is to have instructions that are extremely simple, but you're just really, really fast at executing them. And that is kind of the direction that ARM goes. Is you have a really simple CPU, but you can have like tons of them. And so this is really good for certain kinds of applications. One is in phones because they use less energy, but there's also some large computing applications for it as well. Um, so ARMS was kind of like the initial like guys that did this. Um, but of course, Apple and others didn't want to use them, and they kind of developed their own stuff, and so that's where you kind of get like, um, and then Qualcomm came along with theirs. So for Nvidia to get a hold of ARM is a really big deal because that means that Nvidia is going to be a more significant player in like the cell phone space, for instance. Makes sense. So that one's going on. Um, there's all sorts of foreign news. There's the whole thing going on in Japan with them selecting a new prime minister. There's the whole thing going on with Brexit, which is just like a huge mess and really difficult to understand. But the thing I was getting from it today was that it may all just be negotiating still. So, yeah. And then we got the Federal Reserve meeting this week is a really big part of it and all this. So I think there's going to be some opportunities for us this week, but I don't think it's going to be easy. These are the kind of news events that could really move the market, but it's very difficult for me to predict or be able to anticipate what it is that we're going to need to know to have the edge, you know? So I expect it to be hard trading. Yeah, it doesn't look like that one's working out. Looks like my treasuries came back up there at 20, so that's nice. So may work out. I do think that they're probably gonna move up. I'm looking at the upside. This is maybe 33.64. Yeah, see they look at the Nasdaq going. It looks to me like this crazy Nasdaq call buying spree is still going on. Like the retail traders still want it. They haven't been deterred at all from this downturn. The whole thing is kind of crazy. Like if we get to like the end of next week and we're at all time highs again, if I had hair, I would like pull it out. I just think the whole thing is crazy. Like it's crazy that we even got there to begin with, and then that after such a crazy move down that the people that were been buying into it aren't deterred at all. Uh, if this thing ever, well, I don't know. I don't know how it's possible, but whatever. You too, Ace. Later. I still have some bagels, so I'm gonna eat that. Hold on. Well, that's where you get into the interesting discussion, right? So that's the first thing that we have to point out is just an increase in the M2 money supply doesn't necessarily create inflation, right? Because it might translate into well, the intention of it is to make things easier for the banks to do business. But I think it's seeming to have an unintended effect of pumping up the markets, and I think that this is, the psychological impact of it is a lot more significant than the actual monetary impact of it. That much is clear from just what we've seen here. Retail traders think that they can just do whatever they want because of the Fed, which really isn't true. Because again, what does it do? It gives the banks more leeway to do business. It allows them to keep market liquidity up. It doesn't necessarily mean that they buy stocks, right? But it has that psychological impact. But then the second thing is then there's this question about how really should inflation be measured? Because when we look at the measurements that we've been using, uh, we really haven't been getting inflation, no matter what the Federal Reserve does. And even though they're going to be doing average inflation targeting, you're still going to have a deflationary environment, right? It's not going to change the environment and the deflationary pressures, right? It just means that they're going to allow it to be easier for a little bit longer. They're going to do what a lot of people were arguing they should have done this past cycle anyways, right? So, is it really going up because of all of the you know, uh because there really has been inflation, as in the blah 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 Selfer says? Or is that all just in our, is it mostly just traders trading? You know what I mean? And I think the whole thing here is this past week kind of, I think, should make us question that, right? You can get cat turd mugs now. That's hilarious. Oh, dear, dude, what happened? You feeling sick, huh? Well, what are your symptoms? Your head hurts. That's not necessarily a symptom. Do you have a sore throat? Hmm. Market being pretty slow at the moment. But it is Monday. Donald Trump retweets John Cardillo, who tweets Mueller's persecution squad were renegades who framed innocents, destroyed lives, and covered their own butts by making up rules as they went along. Every single one of them should be disbarred and prosecuted, but nothing will happen, not a thing. And Donald J. Trump tweets DOJ question mark? Clearly he thinks that Barr should be doing more than he is. Very interesting. A little bit of fight there. Maybe you do have COVID. Eye pain, though? I don't know. That sounds like it might be something else, but it could be. Well, yeah. So are you kind of saying that the banks basically tried to use all of this to recover their losses from the coronavirus from the bear market? Because I had been thinking that the whole time. Like when this all started and it came up, I was like, that would be so funny if they, not funny, but I mean typical, I guess you could say, if they let it go all the way back up to the yearly highs so that they recoup all of their losses and get all of the retail traders all excited and in on it and then just dump it on them. And I guess, I guess you could make the argument that that has happened, but I don't really think that's the dynamic that's been pushing us. I think that retail traders have been going call happy, and they've been driven largely by SoftBank, and I think that they've probably, at least for the short term, have overextended themselves, hence the pullback. But we've already had a significant pullback, so I don't know why we probably are going to have to rotate around this area for a while until the Federal Reserve meeting, right? Yeah, they're fighting it, but they weren't able to hold called it. So who we got out on that one? I could have gotten out at +8, but I don't know. I think from a technical perspective, I'm looking at it, and it just seems like probably we're okay in the spot, but that one just didn't work out. Mm, so you're kind of just luck of the draw because it's doing technical noise. That's what it looks like to me at the moment. The treasuries are moving up, though. I think that the treasuries have a solid reason to move up. See if they actually do it. As somebody dumped 7,000 contracts there at 20. Well, usually not. So I have a technical edge that kind of gives me a pretty good idea of how far they can go based on the participants in the market at the time. So I think that they should be able to get up to this 65 or so area. They kind of did and turned back down. If they were to break the high, mm, both sides have a lot of room to work with. So it's really hard to predict in this case. Although that high area up at 33.75. Yeah. Well, so that was another thing is that I really think that this started with the stimulus checks, don't you think? Here's a question. What what is the next popular thing? What happens when all of these guys give up on day trading? Because you know they're going to lose, right? They're going to lose everything. They're going to give up. Then what? That's where I think it gets interesting, right? Because it's such a big disruption right now. Okay, so they came back up here into the middle area. Treasury's still being kind of a little sketchy. Actually, there was some traded into 17 packs. So 17 three quarters rather. For those of you not in on that joke. No, they are kind of headed a little bit down though. I guess we could just get a sell here. I don't think at the moment that I have anything that I could point to that would have a really clear idea of which way it's going to go. I think that sentiment wise, we're probably more likely to go up. But when that's the only thing that's moving you, not entirely reliable. Only in the morning when the liquidity is the highest. You're right. And I don't trade it live every day either. So we were kind of getting into this in chat, but for some of the newer, we're getting a lot of newer people, and that's I guess I kind of assume that everybody's kind of on the same page, but uh, you know, I don't think that's actually the case. Day trading is really really hard. Uh, Vast majority of people lose everything day trading, so you know, reduce your risk if that's really your thing. Like if that's your life calling is day trading, then go for it, and it is possible to be successful, but like only like you know 5 in 100 actually are. So you want to be, limit your risk. Well, that's where like the longer into the day it gets, the more choppy and messy it tends to be. Although there is a lot of stuff early afternoon, and that's probably because that's when the retail traders are kind of like more awake. But Donald Trump is on the tweet. He sounds a little mad this morning. In Australia, ASIC has proposed banning the sale of binary options completely. Oh yeah, don't trade binary options. I don't know a whole lot about that, but I've learned a little bit more recently, and it sounds to me like binary options is just a really dumb idea. Back to the middle again. Okay, well they're pushing that 63 again. Well, no, I think that really what happened was, again, we were getting a lot of call buying from both SoftBank and retail traders. And when that happens, a lot of market makers, especially if they can't hedge that with other positions and puts, then they to hedge themselves, they basically have to buy the underlying stock. And that was what really pushed things up so quickly. When SoftBank was exposed, they unwound their trade, and then all of the market makers were able to sell their shares. So now you got this pullback. The thing is that normally, a decline like that would create a little bit of momentum, but it happened so quickly, and you got to like the pullback area that you know it kind of entered back into a uncertain area. And from what we saw on Friday, the retail traders don't seem to be deterred by the pullback at all. I mean, literally, not at all. So, and the institutions, I mean, there has been some institutional buying lately, but the institutions haven't been participating nearly as much in this move from all of the analytics that I've seen, at least. So, I don't know about like the whole position dumping and stuff, but I'm kind of trying to take it more on a day by day basis. I think that the trade right now is that the Treasury is going to, or that people are going to bet at least, that the Treasury is going to increase the duration and amount of Treasury purchases. So that's where the trade that I'm most confident about is this long here in the 10 year. Now that would be good for equities. So I think the equities could move up a little bit today. Kind of depends. So far in the tape, I don't see anything too dramatic. So the action kind of looks kind of random to me. You're right at buyer's cost basis. So mm, that's where it's kind of like above that. In this kind of action, it's kind of questionable how far above 33.65 you can really get until the market opens. It certainly can go though, and if it does go, um, there's no reason that the shorts have to capitulate because both sides have made a lot of money, or may have made a lot of money. So gold could move. We're seeing a pretty. I mean, we saw a pretty good move. Well, actually, the last 30 minutes it's been going. I didn't even notice. Gold is definitely going. The dollar is just getting crushed here. Oh man, yeah, the dollar is getting crushed hard. Maybe the euro goes for that 1.2 again. Okay, they did beat out that last pivot. Pretty choppy action though. Not the most favorable. Not the most favorable trading action, unfortunately. Hmm. 6,000 hit into 20 half now, huh? Oh, I'm surprised that it's taken that much to hit, but that's kind of been happening a lot lately. Look at how thick 20's getting. And that's quite the squeeze. We're a little bit thicker today. The 30-year is just trading a ton there and really took off compared to the others. Okay, a couple of orders took off, or rather, were removed at 20. Donald Trump's tweeting a lot. They're going off about the Mueller team destroyed 31 work phones and complaining that the FBI isn't doing anything about it. Oh man, yeah, that whole thing in L.A. was so shocking for you Euro guys are the non-politically involved. I guess somebody went and just tried to execute two officers. Like nothing was going on. They were sitting in their car, and this guy just comes up and shoots both of them. But they both lived, and they got rushed to the hospital. And Black Lives Matters people heard about it and went and protested the hospital and prevented people from getting into the hospital. Which is absolutely like, what? Absolutely insane. And I'm not seeing a ton of activity about this, but so it's probably just another thing that will be memory hold, but pretty crazy stuff going on right now in relation to the police. Okay, so they did trade it back down at 20, but 3,000 absorbed. That 20 half is pulling now. Well, there the 5-year is stepping up. Well, the 5-year's not really stacking a whole lot on the bid. I think we should move this 30 back here in line with them since they kind of took off without us. Equities, as I said, we're just like at the average position for the longs. So, that's kind of especially with the open so close. Does look like the bids in the 10-year are increasing overall. Now we got 4,000 at every level, and some now even below that, and it's just been increasing overall. You're really not seeing the same amount being added. Okay, so they did take 20 half, and they stacked a pretty good chunk on it as well. So the thing here is that this doesn't necessarily affect equities directly. It's a treasury trade, but lower rates certainly helps the equities overall. So I think the money flows are positive. The thing I get concerned about is that I'm just kind of looking at it and I'm like, well, okay, it's positive, but like, is retail going to go crazy with that again? You know? hmm Can you see here that I have a long at 139.20? That's prices below. And then over here on the far left side, you can see how much we make at each price, is how that works. Don't forget, there's supposed to be a news conference at 10:30 Eastern time between top EU leaders, Michelle Merkel and von der Leyen, and Chinese President Xi. Donald Trump's still tweeting. It's a real wild card there, is the president at the moment. He hasn't said anything too market moving yet, but certainly there. I don't know, even chat is pretty quiet. So normally if there's a lot of people trading, but the trade isn't going anywhere, then you'd start to see people chatting, but we're not really seeing that. Oh, well, that's how you do it. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says it's past time to solve Gulf Rift. Tweets first squawk. Man, I don't know what I did last night, but my colon is just like not happy today. Well, yeah. So but then that goes into, I think the related thing there is that they never got another stimulus because they wanted the jobs to be extended. The administration did something, but I don't know if it's enough. And if the states don't get aid, then the states are probably going to have to lay off a bunch of people. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned about consumer spending here. Mm, no, Salim, I eat so much protein during the day. You got to understand, I'm one of those people that's like trying to eat 3,000 calories a day and get 50 grams of protein every 4 hours. And but I just have a condition. I have an autoimmune disorder with my colon. Okay, so they're hitting into 20 again. So it's kind of going, it's kind of moving higher, but it's kind of being difficult, and there's a lot being absorbed at each step of the way. And the equities continue to just be really random, I guess you could say. How much is Donald Trump going to retweet here? He's got some time. He's just sitting there with his phone and just typing away. No, nobody knows. There's been a lot of research on it, and they're not able to find out. They don't know what the deal is. Believe me, I go to a doctor for it. I have to take a $1,000 a month medication. If there was as simple as you just have a gluten allergy, that would be great. But Unfortunately, that's more complicated. Gluten certainly doesn't, having a bagel like that certainly doesn't help, because gluten can kind of open up um, the digestive tract walls, and so then I have more stuff seeping out into the body, and the immune system will attack it. But um, that alone doesn't fix it. No, 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 no. It'd have to be up 7% to do that. We're basically where we started Friday. We spent a lot of time around this 65 area, actually, haven't we? What the hell? What the hell kind of that Ezra Klein tweets, we all want to be free to make choices, but we need government that works well enough so there are good choices to make. Good choices come from well functioning government? Because all I've ever seen government do is eliminate choices. My quick take on that one, I'll tweet it to him. In shifting so much responsibility to, this is such a bullshit article. Well, it's Vox, of course. Just the first sentence is, well, it's man, this guy is nuts. Should we read it? He says, in shifting so much responsibility to individual people, America's government has revealed the limits of individualism. What a load of crap. Because why? Because people don't want to be locked down during a pandemic? Yeah. He's essentially arguing that the pandemic means that we shouldn't give people as much individual freedom. It's such a load of crap. Right? Let's see his final paragraph. This is a lesson the coronavirus is or should be teaching us, but it applies far more than this moment. I began this column with the fires that have burnt my region. Fires worsen year after year, unchecked by climate change. It's totally climate change. There, too, our failures as a policy have left us adrift as individuals. There, too, our failure as a polity have left us adrift as individuals, free to flee our homes, but not free to breathe air that doesn't leave us choking. It is a thin form of liberty, but it is all we will have left. If we cannot govern collectively, we want all to be free to make our own choices, but we need government that works well enough so we have good choices to make. That's not his whole thing is so dishonest. What do you mean? The market is open over in the treasuries. His whole argument is so like blatantly dishonest. It's like we have to limit people's freedoms to have other freedoms to limit or some. I just don't like, seriously, dude. If the government can prevent me from leaving my house, then what other freedoms do I have? Honestly. this article is alarmingly. I wonder if that's gonna pick up. I'm probably just just because I read it, I'm triggered. But like, what the heck? Nothing is normal when social media bombards people with so much fake information they don't know what is real anymore. Well, that's crazy. Now I'm wondering why I have such a far left person on my Twitter feed. What was it that he was tweeting before that I thought was useful? Donald Trump still retweeting. The press has dropped, in my view, and I'm talking about the national mainstream media, has dropped any pretense of professional objectivity on our political actors, highly partisan, who try to shape what they're reporting to achieve a political purpose. Equities continue to be bid and trend towards the higher end of this range. I'm wondering if when we get the open, there's probably going to be a little bit of buying, and then the sellers are going to try and make their move. And if we do get selling, I could see them coming down to 33.55, and then bouncing. But we'll see. So there you go. There is the buying. It's pretty short, and the order flow is pretty supportive of a long here. First minute, though, is always a little dicey, so. There's definitely some absorption on the bid there. Yeah. NASDAQ, as usual, pretty wild. Okay. So far the buyers have been winning out pretty hard. We might get up into the 70s area. Yeah. I made some good excursions there, but it was a little excessive. Yeah. A bad spot. Man. All right, I need to sit back here for a little bit because I'm not having too much luck with these. And I don't think that I'm really trading a very solid premise there in this location. So the sellers are trying. But the treasury trade worked out really well. Look at the treasuries go. Hmm. A little bit of fight there coming back to the open. When the treasuries go, no one can stop them. Yeah. Yeah. I'm noticing this is one of those cases in the treasuries where you just see absorption in a spot and it'll just go and go and go. I'm spending a lot of time down there, but it's not really doing anything conclusive yet. The E-mini, that is. Hmm. A bit of clicky clicky around here. Wow, that's pretty shitty, dude. I guess they were longs. It's part of the problem there. Oracle halted due to news pending. So they're gonna announce it now? Is that what that is? Are they gonna mess with me again? Well, yeah, they are. Look at the treasuries just going. So my um, setup for the treasuries is playing out. The equities isn't cooperating, and I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Because if they increased the size and duration of the treasury purchases, that would certainly be positive for the equities market going forward. But the equities are kind of, well, I mean, I would say overall that it's been a sell, but I guess it, it is somewhat just rangy at the moment. So does seem to be moving quite a bit, don't you think? Hmm. Well, that's a little better. Couple of stops there. Nasdaq taking off again. Okay, so there's some new regular session highs. Heading towards that 72 area, it looks. And we kind of got to get into the volume profile here. Expect the dollar to be messy still. Hmm. Well, so after the overnight highs in the 75 area, you've got a pretty good range between there and 3,400. Difficult to predict. Um, my metrics suggest though that it's possible. So, and let's go and look at what they're expecting on the VIX. See if we can let this run. Yeah. Well, so the first target on the VIX is 3391, and then it's 3,400. 3,400 was the overnight second deviation target. So, yeah, that's probably possible. Hmm. Yeah, because the problem with adding on in ZN is I don't really know where. Plus, I want to focus my attention over here, so I'm just gonna let that go, and we'll close it at the end. They're probably the treasuries that you can see they kind of have to distribute a little bit here because they're kind of like at the stop everybody out area. So I'm gonna move this over here so I can keep an eye on it. Well, they said pending news, which is almost certainly going to be that they're going to announce that they have a deal with ByteDance, and then we'll probably get more details on it. But it sounds I'm if that is the case, it's already leaked, right? So who knows though? Maybe they could come out and tell us that that the Chinese they made a deal and China stopped it. I don't know. And Donald Trump's still retweeting. Okay, so we're getting a distribution zone here at 3371. They kind of look like they're gonna try and push them out further though. Yeah. So another new high there, but only for a few ticks. The way this is going and the pattern and everything kind of looks to me like something that can run for a long time. Because I can see that um, the shorts have a lot of money to give. If that makes sense, like they made a lot of money overnight, and so the based on the amount in there and everything, you're not like running out of fuel until 3400, and that's definitely a key level that's going to kind of a magnet to them. Um, and then when you look at the size of the impulse and everything from a technical standpoint, it's a pretty significant impulse. Um, but they are trading a lot there in the 72 area. Look at them push through that with force. I don't know how much of that is profit taking. It is a significant amount there now, though. Yeah, look at that. So they just blasted right through that overnight high at 33.75. Didn't even, I mean, there was absorption there, but they didn't even give it a pullback. They just went right through. I was really shocked when I read this morning that Oracle won. Because Oracle is not a social media company. That is a complete change. So remember, Oracle has been about databases, right? That was how they got into things. Was databases, and now they have a social media company. This long was good. This long was great, and I think there's more in it. What'll really make it a great trade is where we get out. So let's not count our chickens before they hatch. it's already outperforming my initial expectations. So I was looking more for like the overnight high. I should have assumed that, oh, if they go for the overnight high, then they're just going to take off. But 3,400, do you think? Maybe a little. They might mess with us and come a little bit short of it. Hmm. Igar is saying in the Treasury channel that the market is very short, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, because it looks like that it's just a buy over in the Treasuries. Now they came back. They that should be expected though. So here, Salim, in the Treasuries, if we really still believe in the trade, somewhere between 21 and 20 here would be a good spot to add. Before I didn't really have any kind of clear. Okay, so there he must be talking about the COT. Oh, look at how they came down there in the 10 year. What the heck? Hmm. He says he's short. Well, there must be two sides to this trade because came back hard even as the equities are pushing up. Yeah, well, so when I was pointing out the location where that comes back to break even. I don't know what just happened there, so I'm going to keep it, but I'm not going to add. So I'm starting to see another distribution here. Around 77. 77 is kind of more the top of it. would not be crazy for them to retrace back to 73. So I'm kind of thinking about if I want to, take the profit here or try and hold through that. Oh, there's that China EU news conference at the bottom of the hour. Got to remember that. Let's just make sure that we do that. Just let it do its thing. In the meantime, we have a video out we need to promote. So, here's a new video. Oops, that's not it. Why did it not copy? Why did it not copy to my clipboard? Wow, it came back up there to the highs very quickly. Very quickly. This is so crazy. Such crazy long. I don't know about that. That was a little. Hmm. I don't know, guys. Interesting, huh? This is really bullish. Okay, and then I want to go post it in the Facebook group. No, I haven't seen that. Okay, so we are getting crazy icebergs again. So that, well, hold on. That was a lot there. The thing is with that much trading there, I think it's unlikely that we're just going to come completely back down. Okay, and now it continues through. I'm going to put that there. Actually, that might be unreasonable. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, that's making me a little bit nervous, but okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I lost my connection. But while I did so, they had another crazy push up here. So, I'm a little concerned about. Okay, so I'm just gonna take that 85 because I'm a little concerned about my internet connection now. All of a sudden, um, so that puts us up $35 on the day in the E-mini at least. We're really disappointed in that treasury trade. I'm gonna hold on to it, but 35 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So $30. I made $30. That's good. Yeah, I think there could be more, but I'm just too nervous about it. Oh yeah. Yeah, if you're trading E-minis, you should be on December now. Like last Thursday, it was kind of questionable, but now there's going to be more volume in the new contract, and so definitely you want to be over here. Mhm. Mm-mm-mm. I'm never gonna get a Lamborghini, guys. Hmm. Look at her go. There she's gonna go to 3,400. Nah. Just buy a I think my next car will probably be a Corolla, to be honest with you. This is disappointing. Think I should hold it? Nah, I'm too scared. But that's like the third time since we've been doing this. I don't know. What's the deal with that? Yeah, I could go for an Accord. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that at this time, well, maybe my views change after the pandemic and I have to drive into work again, but at this time, I don't really feel the need to have a really big car. Like, we don't drive the kids very far. I want to get a nice van, and my sedan can be really basic. And so on that side, I'm more interested in something that is reliable and has good fuel economy. So I think that my next car will be a Corolla. And then after that, maybe a Ferrari. Maybe. Okay, hold up. Let me see if I understand what you're saying right. Let's make a new chart here. So here's the E mini. Sorry, I'm feeling like really FOMO. I'm feeling really hardcore FOMO right now. So there was another, you know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm disappointed because I think I can hold that all the way to 3,400. I'm just mad because I really think this is going to go to 3,400, and I think that the responsible thing to do is to get out. So I don't know what's causing that. It's like it. Okay, I totally forgot what I was doing. So you were saying Bollinger Bands, Bollinger, Keltner channel. Do they need to be the same period? You might want to backtest when Bollinger outside bands go inside the Keltner channel. Ooh, so you're talking about like right there. Right? That one is the Bollinger, right? The Bollingers are blue. No, the Keltners are blue. So when the Bollinger comes back inside the Keltner channel, when it's out and it comes back inside, out comes back inside. It's a little questionable, but and you're saying you fade it at that point, right? It's going up, it comes back in, so you're saying that's a confirmation of a reversal. I was just the only reason I say a Ferrari is to try and be different, you know? What do you mean the alligator lines? I mean this crossover of these two lines, that's really easy to backtest. And I already have some backtests related to that. So one of the things is when I was testing it, I did not find Keltner channels on their own to be very effective. Well, Bollinger Bands were. But we got time to do this. The next one, I'm thinking I want to try and do it so that I have something like that every Friday. Well, actually, we should. Well, I want to come in here and look a little bit. Let's come and look. Yeah. So something that tends to happen. We look at the total. Some. Oh wait. I got to not show you guys since okay. So I don't think YouTube allows me to show you some things. That's usually Fridays, right? It's Saturdays, Sundays. But this time around, we had that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Actually, maybe it didn't make a big difference. The question was, did putting a video out on like that on a Friday improve things and make it more likely that the video that I put out on Monday will do well? We'll see. We'll see how the video that goes out on Monday. I'm not going to put that one on the subreddit because I'm almost certain that a video like that is going to get downvoted. So it's kind of controversial and it tells people things that they don't want to hear. How is that one doing? It's got 18 views today so far. This one about the backtesting strategies is actually far outperforming what it normally would. It did pretty good on Reddit. Audience retention on it isn't as good as I would hope, but so this next one, I think I need to work on that a little bit, make it more fun. Engagement. Okay, so we're getting the clicky again. And it does it again. So every time that it's done that, they've moved higher. Or at least somebody's gone through and pushed it higher. And there's somebody putting a big bid there at 33.85. Okay. Now, I want to look here. See if there's things that I need to change at my router. Wow. That's some crazy action there. Hmm. Something. I feel like something's going on with my router. Hmm. Okay, I'm back. I'm starting to wonder if it's just me. Because nobody else is complaining. My cord just loose or something? There was another 10 points. Yeah. Well, I think it might be that cable. Why is the DHCP least changed again? That's weird. Well, you know what? This has happened so many times that I'm thinking. Yeah. Um. Like it has changed. I forget what DHCP stands for. That's like when you get your. Oh, that might just be. Was that me? Let's see here. Looks like me. Oh, you know what? The best way to do this is with an IP config. FE80. No, that's not mine. No, that is it. That is me. That is me. So if I come over here and wiggle this cord, okay. We'll see if it happens again. We'll stay online. Well, it's unfortunate that I had to get out at 3380, huh? Because it's going to go there. I suppose I could try getting in again, but need a better spot. I don't know. So the way this is trading right now is a little unreal, to be honest with you guys. Like looking at that chart, you seeing this, right? Look at that. Look at that. Like what? That's a good 30 points straight up. How does that happen? That's a really unusual. I don't know what something's going on. I feel like fuckery is afoot. Well, this one's starting to disappoint over here in the treasury. I've been stuck there at 20 a long time. I think there could be another good move up, but uh, hmm. So let's say that I'm still in this. What am I thinking right now? I'd be concerned. I did get in at 63. Got in right there close to the bottom. Wow, it's such a good trade. It's so unfortunate that I wasn't able to hold it because of the internet. I don't think it doesn't look like it has anything to do with my router or anything else like that. When I look at it, I see it assigning me an IP address. So it appears to me to be something related to my connection. So I don't know if the cable just needed to be jiggled around or what. But it doesn't look like the internet is going down or anything of that nature. So, all right, we are getting an unusual candle here that maybe makes it look like that they're going to turn here. And yeah, so they did break down through the 3388. Um, so maybe a short-term pullback coming, if not a full reversal. Oh man, I don't know that this whole move is just too much. Just too much. Probably not. It looks like a physical hardware problem. Oh, why do you say that live action? Because of the earn to trade story? Yes. Oh, did I not give this? Let me get you the link here. Live action. Because I made a video about it. There you go. You know I had to make a video about it. Come on. Yeah, but you know when I talk about it in the video, but I I've been, not a fan of combines for a while and I feel like they need to change. And this is a good opportunity to talk about it. Because I know those guys at Top Step, they all mean well and everything. It's just, I mean, these micro contracts have been out for a long time. They haven't changed anything, right? And I think that Michael Patak and them, they need to take a hard look at their business and ask themselves where they maybe need to make adjustments. You know what I mean? Let's refresh this page because I don't think that I'm getting all of the messages from you guys over here. Hmm. So there was about $100 more in that thing. I would have been super happy if I had been able to get it at 90, for instance. If I had taken it off at 90. Whew. I sure would be still holding it though. Like, I think I'd still be long. I think I would be looking at that as a pullback and giddy up. I don't know. While they went to the art ATR, I'm still not confident about the timing of this as a long. But I think it's too late to be in, and we should probably kind of just test things out and make sure that we don't go down again. So I should come back here and look at these logs again. Does it say anything when I get booted off? Doesn't say anything like that. Hmm. It really just must be my cable. Maybe I need to re-terminate it or something. The funny thing is that I've only had problems while I've been streaming. So what's with that? Maybe I have had problems with it while I've been working and I just didn't notice. It's possible, huh? Mm-hmm. That sucks. We had a lot of viewers too. That's okay. We're back. What should we call today's video? Okay, they haven't started speaking with that press conference yet, but it's coming. How should I tweet that? Okay. Wow. One guy in the forums talking about the combines. Sorry, on the Facebook group says that he's seen people spend thousands of dollars on the combines. I traded sim. Oh, Lobo Trader saw this video. Let's see what he said. Since there you go. I think he understood. I think the video gave him what he needed to know. So we have one of those newer guys, and he's kind of been wondering if he should really be trading, I guess. And I pointed him to that video, and uh, I think that he kind of understood the message. That was like, yeah, it's really hard, but I really want to do it. I just because I love it so much. And if you have that, then maybe you stand a chance. They gonna go again for this? I really wish that I hadn't have sat through those drawdowns earlier. I mean, that would have been it would have been so much more amazing of a day if we hadn't had those losers to start out with. Because I had to do it 4 times in a row before I caught one, even though in the end it was profitable. I think I was trading a little bit too much noise. Like I kind of thought that it was going to go up, but a little bit too much noise in there. Yeah, I think this one, if I can get out, I should. Because we're running out of time and it doesn't seem to be going. Well, now that we've kind of gotten up here to 3390, it is starting to act a little bit more normal. And we could get a pullback again to something more like 3380 now. And then maybe we could have another push up and then they could try going for it. I have to question though what's the cause here. And again, I suspect that there are some really big trades going on out there and some sort of institutional um, behavior that we might not want to get too comfortable with, right? Because just like we found out, they can dump it on you very, very quickly. Oops. What? I'm not logged in. Don't you just hate it when that happens? Because logging into things is so painful nowadays. You got to use like your authenticator code and all this stuff. All right. I am. Yeah. No, I totally. Yeah. So, I mean, I thought a lot about that, Gary. I really did. Um, so I was very, very careful. I showed earn to trades statement there, so everything that I said in there was factual. So I'm pretty sure that I am on solid legal grounds. That doesn't mean that somebody wouldn't try to bully me anyways, but I don't think that's going to be the case. But, I when I was thinking about it, I was kind of wondering more about what the community response to it is going to be. Because like there's a lot of people invested in the combines, right? Especially some of these other YouTube channels that I did not name but criticized, right? They're very invested in the combines. And I'm going to bet you that there's a number of people that are going to fight back against it, you know? Heck, you know what? I said I didn't bother posting it on Reddit, but let's do it. Because I haven't seen anything about this on the day trading subreddit. Getting the link right. And we could give it a flare. We can talk about it. Like, what should this be? Meta? this? I'll call it meta. Let's see here, Gary. If you give your opinion of Top Step, premise that Top Step may work for others, it's just your opinion and speculative opinion. Yeah, it is. I did that. Did you Did you watch the video? I mean, I did do that because in the video I said, like, in my opinion, here's when it's worth it to try. Oh, okay. So you did watch it. I kind of feel like I did that, but I can kind of see how you would say that I didn't. I see both sides of it. That's what I was intending to do, at least. So I didn't want to come out. I said many times, it's not like what they're doing is illegal or that there's anything wrong with them. I just don't think that you're getting your money's worth anymore. That's what I said. So that's very clearly my opinion. And I very much came in there and said, well, if this is your situation, it might be a good idea for you. But you're right. How this video does, it makes me nervous because the first video that I did about the combines was the most popular video I ever had. Well, I take that back. I think that the Bitcoin live stream probably was a little bit better, but yeah, I'm nervous about it. Not because I think I'm going to get sued. Yeah, the earn to trade you stay, the facts can't dispute that. Right. So I will tell you that when I was, let's just say that Top Step was interested in what I had to say. So we'll see what they do. I think, though, could be wrong. I could be dead wrong, but I think that because these are good guys, I think that they're probably going to take a step back and think about it a little bit and say, you know what, we should maybe change a few things. I hope they do. Who was that famous prosecutor who once said, have any man write 10 lines and I could have him hung? Feel better? Yeah. But I guess what I was getting at, though, is I don't think that I'm nervous just because it's a controversial issue and we're making a criticism about a pretty big thing that has a lot of interest in it. But I'm also nervous about it because I have big expectations, and that was one of my most popular videos, and I know that there's a good chance that this video could be really successful. Of course, the reason the first video was so successful was because it got picked up in Google search. So because my channel already ranked high in that, it's probably a more recent video probably could get in there again, but we'll see. There's going to be more competition for it now. But I was like, this is could be one of the most significant videos that I make. So now the funny thing about it was that I've had some videos where I'm like a stuttering mess when I'm going through it. But if you look at this one, I actually don't have a whole lot of edits. I just spit the whole thing out. Like, I was concerned, like, do I really know what I have to say? But I think it did a good job. The other thing that I was concerned about was that again, we did have an affiliate link, right? Earn to Trade approached us and gave it, like, straight up gave it to us. I didn't have to do anything. He just gave me the link, and I said, well, I don't promote trading rooms or indicators, but these are major people in the industry, and I should be fair to everybody, even though I'm not a huge fan of combines, especially if they're giving people a discount. So I put it in there, and I didn't promote it, and nobody ever clicked the link. to my knowledge. In fact, I don't even know how to go in and look anymore, but I'm pretty sure that it would have sent me an email if I had affiliate sales. So yeah, nobody ever used it, but I was afraid that like, um, people will say, well, you're hypocritical because you did have a link at the time, and it's not an unfair criticism. And I tried to address that in the video, but I didn't like go super deep into it, probably as much as I should have. Kind of realized in editing, maybe I should have talked about that a bit more. But so nobody ever used it. But yeah. The other funny thing is I didn't realize, but when I did the first video, it wasn't Earn to Trade. It was One Up was the one. So I guess Earn to Trade must have come after One Up or after that video. Not sure. But and another thing that made me nervous is when I went to Futures.io, I kind of expected a lot of people to be like, really down on them because of that, because there's always been a lot of let's say I don't know what the like if you polled everybody about their opinions of the combines, what it would come out to, but the people that don't like them really don't like them, right? And I saw didn't see any of that on the Futures.io forum. I think they were all kind of like defending it and saying that's very unfortunate, and it seemed like Futures.io has a pretty solid relationship with them, so it's like, because again, I'm looking at it like I would really like to just see the combines go the way of the dodo here. Yeah. I think I need to be more careful about how I do affiliate links in the future. Like I'm only at this moment I'm only interested in um platforms. And I mean platforms. It can't just be an indicator. If you're offering a whole platform like NinjaTrader, then we totally work with you. Even if it's a platform that I don't use. Like I really am impressed with what they do over at Bookmap, for instance, right? I would love to work with them. I kind of want to program my thing for them, but I digress. Uh, so platforms, brokers, and news. If there was a squawk or news service that wanted to partner with us, I'd be totally all over that. But indicators in particular, other rooms, no, because it's just too like, you know, everybody's doing that, and even though there is definitely like legitimate indicators that might be good things, like I want to put out an indicator package. I have some ideas about how I want to do it though that might be a little unusual, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, there's just too much risk there. You don't know. There's all sorts of sketchy people doing it, and so I don't really want to affiliate with indicators or trading rooms. Mhm. Well, I see one guy in chat is short, and it seems to be going okay for a short right now. I don't know. I have to say that whole move was like just really unreal, and I kind of wonder like what is it that makes it move that straight, and then all of a sudden it just dies out, you know? So it must be some institution doing something there, and if it's not SoftBank, well, anyways. So here's something else that I like to see is my video for the backtesting strategies from Reddit. It did really, really well. Okay. Um, the click through rate wasn't great. It was like 5.4%, but I still got like half of the views were from the browse features. So, and not just from the post on Reddit. So I'm happy about that video. Hoping that video did so well that the top step one will do well too, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure you can tell by the way that I'm talking about it that I'm a little nervous about it. I'm a little nervous about how my internet died, and I think I fixed it, but I don't know if I actually did. Because it seems to me that I just like my internet connection to the router is just dying when that happens. Do I need to redo the cable or something? Maybe I need to re-terminate it. It's possible. I went and I jiggled that cord around. I haven't any problems, but when it happened like on Friday, it just happened that one time, and then I didn't have any problems the rest of the day. So I don't know why it's happening. So then I'm like, oh, is it something like, is somebody DOSing me? Supposedly, if I got DOSed, it should like the router should handle it, but I don't know. Well, I think this week is going to be. I don't know if fun is the right word to put it for this week, but I see the potential for a lot of movement this week. I'm just really unsure about how it's going to play out. So this is kind of one of the worst, well, should I say worst setups? You know that it can move a lot, but you don't know if you actually have edge in it. And this is the one where something big happens and you try trading it and you fuck up, you know? So I'm a little nervous about this week too. What? There you go. Cardinal Richelieu. If you give me 6 lines written by the hand of most honest of men, I will find something in them which will hang them. Yeah. That's exactly the trade, right? So I think that what people are seem the expectation that I'm seeing, I don't know if it's like the wide market expectation, but there's definitely people speculating about it that the Federal Reserve is going to say some really dovish things about the pace of the recovery and justify increasing the size and duration of their treasury purchases, which means buying more 30 years essentially. And every time that you see these moves up, you look at the 30-year, it just takes off. It just takes off. Hmm. Okay. Oh yeah. But I'm still stuck on this thing, man. How does that happen? Explain this to me. Cause that is crazy. Treasury September report is due anytime now. The Fed has their reports out already. Do you see any BLK helicopters, SUVs out front? No. Um, this was this weird action that I was like, that's unnatural. Something's going on. And so when the whole SoftBank was unmasked and everything else like that, I said, oh, okay. That's what's been happening is that's the time of day that SoftBank comes and does their trades or whatever, or end towards the end of the day. And that's what's causing them. And then SoftBank disappeared. It stopped happening. we started going down. And now here today, again on Monday, we get another one of them. And I'm just like, what is causing this? It's such an insane move. Gorilla Digits asked institutional pump and dump. Maybe. I don't know if it's really an dump so much as it is just a pump. I suppose SoftBank could be doing it again, but based on other things that are going on over there, I doubt it. The whole thing is just a little. I'm a little puzzled. I thought we were going to move up today, but not like that. What did I think it was going to be more like? Let's drop picture. I thought that we were going to get so up to here. So that was kind of crazy. So up to here, sure. And then I thought we would come down. Okay. And then I think we could maybe come to so I thought maybe we would be at 80 by now. And then probably pull back. And then 90, pull back, and then 40. And that we would be going into the 3,400 towards the close. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen. And then it just went up. It like never stopped. You never really took a real pullback on all of these were just like by the dip kind of sort of things up until this. Up until they finally breached the ATR stop and then it kind of changed. I have to say, I haven't found anything predictive about the ATR stop, but it definitely matters. Like when they cross that thing, something changes. It's like everything flips around and thinks, okay, maybe we're gonna go short now. We getting comments on it? Mm-mm. Oh, sorry, you guys are saying a couple of things. Yeah. Well, I agree with that. So I should. Oh, did I? I want to show you this because I don't know if it was. I've been having this conversation with a bunch of other people, but I didn't. A lot of people don't believe me. So here's this thing that proves it. Okay. So here is a Bank of America uh, did some analysis on the flow to determine who was doing what. And when you look at it, you're finding out that um, Robinhood, obviously, it doesn't have as much of an impact as the options volume or the hedge fund volume or anything like that, but it's not insignificant. I think a lot of people say that it's really like retail trading is only like that little tiny bit, that it's only like that much. But that's not the case. It's almost as big. It's almost as big as the hedge fund flow. So, um yeah, does it matter? Sure. Are they actually driving the markets? I'm not so sure because the main, how do I say, like, case, I guess you could say, for the majority of retail traders is they say that they're following the funds. So I would think that it's really the funds are more the ones that are going to set the pace and everybody's going to try and follow them. Um, so that's for sure. And there's definitely some money moving around. But today I'm just a little unsure about why it is coming the way that it did. I saw it come in. It must be money from Europe. I saw that the dollar got hit pretty good today, down below 93 now. And gold went up a little bit, but not excessive. But it was a decent run. It was a decent day trade in gold, at least. Gold not really. It's not really showing me anything too significant. And the 6J moved up pretty solid too. So it seems to me like there was some flight out of the dollar and equity is buying up on that, I guess. Could that explain all of the flow up in the equities? I'm not so sure. And again, this is where it's just like the thing that I find so weird is how clean the move always ends up being. It's like it's just like the cleanest, most, textbook long trend sort of a thing. And I just find it so weird because I've never seen the E-mini. The E-mini charts are always so messy. I heard a rumor Joe Biden is running for president. Has anyone seen this? I've heard that rumor before too. I don't know. I still bet a lot of the selling last few days will stop less because the recent bullishness made the potential dark side hard to gauge. Well, for sure. But there was the options gamma was a really big factor. Okay, when you go back and you look at how much gamma there was and where they were pointing at and everything, they went like exactly to the spots that the gamma said that they would. The thing is just that gamma is basically equalized. So, um, but the other thing is that looking at the flow from Friday, and I'm going to bet you looking at the flow today because I haven't seen the metrics yet. I'm sure that Zero Hedge and others will post good metrics at the end of the day. But just looking at the way that it's moved, I'm going to bet you that there's a lot of retail traders in that. So they're not deterred at all. People like Buffett thinking it's all fake and will revisit historic lows if the last three excess lows are seen as excess/rejection. There are a lot of people waiting to buy back in for the next run. I think price is moving back towards the gap, says Gorilla Digits. So I'm not sure where you're talking about the gap, but um, pretty solid move up. I said, when we came in earlier, I was saying, well, 3,400 is a pretty solid target up here, but you got this whole range here between 3,070 and 3,400. It looks like they're coming a little bit short of it right now because of the VIX target. So It's still possible that later in the day they do move up. And with the way that they've been trading it, I actually am starting to think that maybe that's a more likely case. But yeah. Um, but as for terms of like where like the lows are in rejection and everything, I definitely see what you are saying because I felt that when we started to get some of these moves down in here, that was a little excessive. That was a little excessive. Some of this was like, okay, I expected it to do this. That's what normally happens. This has been more of a V. It's not like the last, I don't know, crises that I've seen. But then here's the other thing is that then we get up here and you get this. Like that kind of action, you see those at lows, not at highs. What the hell? It's so weird. Something's wrong with the market. I'm telling you. That makes me extremely uncomfortable. That shouldn't happen. That is, something's wrong. Now, was it just because all of this was nonsense? Sure. But then we could start to go back and we could start doing some other things. So we could say, will it do this? I think that's pretty likely scenario. Could it do this? Yeah. That one I think is a pretty likely scenario. And it might even do this. And then just like keep going and keep going and keep going. Or it could do this. Now, it seems to me like the market thinks that it's going to do this one. That's what I'm seeing today. And I just think that whole thing is crazy. Well, whatever. It must not be that crazy if the market wants it so bad. This is really unusual. The internal tick indicator stayed at 0 throughout the morning bid up. I wonder if these new higher levels can hold. Well, I'm sure that a lot of that flow, because when it was moving, the NASDAQ was going. So I'm sure that a lot of that flow was like people getting back into Apple. The gap from Friday's close to Sunday's open. Okay. Well, that was way back here. And it doesn't make much sense. Yes. Anyway, Treasury came down there. We had a really good trade in Treasuries, but I didn't take the profits. Should have. I mean, I had reason to take it off there, but I thought, oh, it'll come back, and then it'll go higher. And it did come back to right to where I thought, but then it didn't go higher. So yeah, we're in a very interesting market. Man, it is getting hot in here. My AC being stupid again. I tell you what, these Nest thermostats, they aren't very effective. It says it's 68. It says it's 70. It's not 70 in here. It's really hot in here. Oh yeah, did we have more comments over here? I was responding to comments on the YouTube thread. Mm. So you're talking about this like 33.23 for today? You're right. Totally right. Okay, well, you know what, guys? I know that it's a little bit early, but I'm feeling like shutting it down here. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I did make a little bit of money on my e-mini trades, and I guess I just scratched the treasury. Overall, it's just like every day. There's like a mixed bag, but I come out on top, and it's okay. So I gotta figure out what to do about those drawdowns because it's happening a lot where it goes against me, goes against me, goes against me, and then I finally catch a big one. So I don't know what to do. Okay, I will see you guys. Oh no, wait, we gotta call it today's video. What should we call it today's video? Uh, it is the 14th, right? Uh, Unreal. Bulls return for another Unreal rally. That's what I'm gonna call today's video. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime,